Hi, and welcome to the Market Alert for Monday, the 7th of April 2025. So, this is the overnight news. International stock markets tumble as Trump calls tariffs medicine. Well, it depends, doesn't it? One man's medicine is another man's poison. Watch live. Fed Chair Powell speaks as emergency rate cut odds rise. That's what Trump wants. He wants lower rates, lower dollar, and surveying the carnage after a week when decades happened, which is a great headline. Goldman biggest selling ever, and stocks see worst week since March 2020 as tariff fears weigh into the weekend. And Trump needs a recession to succeed. Mizzou sees lower rates, lower dollar, and lower stocks. Trump will likely get what he wants and be able to blame previous Democratic administrations. But isn't that what all governments do? And let's have a look at economic news for this week. Not that it's going to be really that important. What we do have is nothing today, but on Wednesday, the main event for economic news is the CPI numbers. Well, it doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. There's a bigger focus here, and that's the now trade war that is going to ensue. So let's have a look at the markets and kick off with the Dow. So as you can see, overnight, massive gap in the Dow Jones. We've got to move up to bigger time frames at the moment to see what's really going on. Let's have a look at the weekly chart. In fact, let's have a look at the monthly charts. Would be more appropriate here. So let's just have a look and see what we've actually lost over the last, from the all-time high. I think is probably the best there. At the moment, we're down 8,500 points. This is a good pullback. It was very much needed, to be honest with you. These markets continue to make daily all-time highs. For weeks and months through December when Trump got elected. And now you can see that we've taken out convincingly on Friday the 40,000 level. We're now down another 3,000 points below this as well. And back to the daily chart, we've gapped overnight. The market likes to fill gaps though, so be warned, even though despite the carnage, you could see this market bounce today. And then in the 30-minute chart, you can see the gap there. And you can see them trying to fill the gap already and get back to Friday's low there. So despite the carnage on Friday, watch out for the dead cat bounce. Also, central bank intervention. This is not uncommon at this time. And the other thing as well to keep an eye on, we just have a look at it, is the, I can find it, there we go. The VIX as well, you can see this is the volatility index. This is jumping up. I don't remember this happening. I don't know if that's a bad tick during August of 24. I think that's a bad tick. But this is the COVID high there. In fact, let's just go back a few pages here because I did have another one here from Google. And there you can see that's more realistic. So let's have a look there. So 65 was the high there, and this was 74. 9 or 78. I can't quite get the cursor to stay on the actual number, which is a bizarre thing, but it won't stay where I want it to stay with the peak. So we can see that it's more or less ballpark 80, and at the moment we're at 45 as well. So it could go higher, but you can see those three spikes there. When we've hit those levels, the market has then found support and turned around. So don't be surprised if you do see the market trying to regain some of its losses from Friday. So you've got all of the news and everything else, but we've had the weekend for the market to absorb all of this so-called tariffs, and the considerable down moves were likely to get bounces today. So let's recap there. So the Dow trying to make its way back towards Friday's low. Let's have a look at the DAX. And similar picture, when a market gap downs this much, it wants to get back. And in the case of the DAX, it'll want to get back above that 200 MA. Again, the weekly chart shows the significant down move since we've had from the all-time high. We're now down a total of 4,000 points. Again, it put on an absolute stack of points, as you can see through here, over most of 2024. So the shakeout, the pullback, whatever you want to call it, is a very healthy thing. Markets gap down, trying to get back to the close and low of Friday as well. So we're already looking to do this. You tend not to get the follow through. And even now in the 2-minute chart, you can see prices starting to move back to the upside there, and actually having moved already from this low to this high. Let's just have a quick look and see what we've got there. So from here up to here, we've already moved 209 points in the pre-market session to try and drag the market back to the upside there. And in the S&P 500, same thing. You've got the gap there the market's trying to fill. 30-minute chart trying to get back to the close and low, and finding support at the S2 during the overnight. In the FT 100, market gapping down. When you gap this far down, they want to come back and fill the gap, and the 30-minute chart there as well. Let's just go back to the daily chart and have a look, see how much the FT has dropped. This may give cause concern for Rachel in accounts, but let's just have a look. We're down 2,500 points there as well, so big down move for the FT 100 as well, but as I say, watch it to regain some of those losses. So a lot of the problem on Friday was flight to quality with the US dollar, but this down on the overnight. It played absolute havoc with the metals markets, and they seized upon the opportunity to actually hammer, I think is an understatement, sledgehammer the metals. So let's have a look at those. And SmackDown Friday wasn't in it, was it? The market down 12% during last week in the silver market. So you can see it pulling back now. It's going to have no trouble pulling back. This was just a JP Morgan bank short opportunity to get out some of their short positions. And as I said before, every $1 move up in the metals at the moment, well, particularly silver, $1 rise is a loss of 212 million for the banks who hold these massive short positions. So they managed to save $500 million, didn't they, last week by doing what they did. So yeah, silver is a no-brainer, as well as gold to move back to the upside. 30-minute chart there was just monkey hammered. The market gapped, and then they soon bought. Talk about bargains, uncertainty and suppression and massive demand, and also a deficit in physical silver. You can see they're coming straight back very, very quickly. So yeah, you'll see a different picture by the end of the week. Gold also gapping down. Now this is incredible. I was holding the $3,000 level on Friday, which you can see there, 315, and overnight they thought, well, let's have a bit of this. $30 below the actual psychological level of 3,000 is incredible. Talk about central bank buying. God, they made it cheap for themselves to buy overnight. Massive there, down to the 50 MA, but now already back above the 3,000 level and trying to move higher. So 30.55. That's the last time you're going to see gold prices below $3,000 per ounce there. 30-minute chart. You can see them bringing the market back very quickly. It's going to be an interesting day to see how this pans out, and that's going back to silver there. So gold managing to make its way back quite nicely there. Right, let's have a look at the gold-silver ratio, which is absolutely incredible. So, excuse me, on Friday, we were around about the 98 level, and then we just moved to the upside. Also, take note of this as well. Let me just hold this. This going up on the overnight to 104.82. That is massive. The last time, obviously, we went up to 126 when we had the COVID situation, and there you can see the high in that bar, 126. So massive move. This is indicating a bottom in the silver market at the moment, unless things get wild, but I think that most of the damage was done on Friday, and we can expect to see things settle. I don't really see a reason personally why they would want to move the stock markets lower during today, and also the gap down overnight is generally indicative of a bit of support. Certainly quieter than Friday, but who knows what the agenda is here. I mean, there may be some panic selling. We'll just have to wait and see. So have a look at Friday's market action, which you can see there in the pre-market. The market was already moving up quite nicely, and then the selling started, and we had nothing but big bars. These 2-minute bars here are over 100 points, and it's just just the spread of the actual from the spread bettors is widened very quickly, and fortunately there's no signals there just because of the volatility, and the selling just continued. And I think if Friday, I'll just have a look in a second and confirm this for you, it was we saw the market down over 1,000 points, didn't we? Which I think is a first for me to see that. So let's have a quick look. This was Friday's session. So let's have a look. Actually, that's not going to be Friday's session. That's going to take into account the overnight as well. So let's just go from the low to the high, get a ballpark figure. And there you can see 1,385. Not precise, but wow, that's some drop, isn't it? So from Friday to the low of today, or the overnight, there is 2,230 points. So 50% of what the market's dropped happening in 2 days there. So yeah, again, they're going to try the best to get this back above the 200 MA, and overnight, as we've already seen, prices starting to make their way back to the upside, or attempting to at the moment, back to the S1. As we can see there, let's just squeeze this up a bit. It'll take a lot to get back even to the low. Let's just have a look and see how far we are away from Friday's low to where we're currently trading. So yeah, 500 points, not impossible given the level of volatility that we're seeing at the moment. So there we go. There's a quick roundup of events. Who knows what's going to happen? And also, one thing I noticed, that Trump's up to negotiate the Vietnam tariff. So here we go again. The indecision is going to be a week of indecision to see what he does. It's just bonkers, the whole thing. But there you go. Right, that's it for this one. Have a great day, and as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.